Welcome everyone to the first episode of the M2CS podcast with Mike, Mark, Chris, and Sean. I'm Chris, I'm your host, joined today by my buddies Mark.
Hello.
Sean.
Hello.
And Michael.
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Quarantine life treating you good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting paid, so getting paid 2 weeks, so
Going to work every day and coming home and
I'm retired.
I get to work from
Nothing's
home,
different.
so it's great.
yeah.
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 All right.
I'm
so
retired. Nothing's different.
So we have talked about doing this for years. Quarantine made us do it, so we're ready to go. Clone Wars is on, so we're going to start with that. We're going to discuss the Clone Wars. Final season, 4 episodes to go. First 2 have aired, so we're going to break down the first 2 for you. So we'll start with the first one. Michael, set us up on it.
Well, this is season 7, episode 9, part 1, entitled "Old Friends Not Forgotten." It's directed by Dave Filoni and Saul Ruiz, written by Dave Filoni, created by George Lucas. It was an excellent episode. It hit an IMDb score of 9.8, and I think there was a lot of stuff on this episode that everybody was excited to see. I know I really enjoyed it, as I did the second one too, that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But just a very good episode. Felt like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
felt like a
into
movie.
It's a shame that a cartoon is better than the movies.
It is.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
yeah.
Felt like a movie, and I bet it's going to be a movie. You get the old Lucasfilm intro.
Yeah.
True.
You still got the voiceover, which I almost wish they would have done the voiceover as a crawl instead of. But the Tom Kane guy doing the voiceover is, known for the Clone Wars episodes. But they could have done that as the crawl, and it would have worked awesome.
Did you notice how it set up the locations of all the Jedi that it showed that got killed when Order 66 rolls up? I can't remember all those Jedi's names or anything like that, but
It showed all the battles they all went to.
it showed all the battles they were in. Yeah, that they were in when they actually got killed.
The ones that died on screen is what.
Yeah, the ones that died on screen.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that died on screen in Revenge of the Sith. I thought that was right at the beginning. So when you're looking at it, you're like, holy cow, that looks really familiar. And then you're like, oh, that's where all those that died on screen were at. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought that was really neat. And then it goes to the red. Let's see, did this have a red Clone Wars, or was that the next one?
No, this was the red one. Yeah,
the red Clone Wars writing.
The second episode was green, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yellow. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember either.
Well, speaking of setting them all up, though, so in this one, you see right off the bat, Obi-Wan making the save for Cody.
Yeah, that was
just a few hours later, he's going to turn on him.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. It really, we hadn't just talked about this before, but I know Mark's watched it. I don't know if you and Sean have watched it or not, but the original Clone Wars cartoon that came out on Cartoon Network, and I actually just rewatched those here a while back. You watched them. That's right. You did watch those, didn't you, Chris? You found them on YouTube.
Yeah.
The beginning of that is really close to what the beginning of that episode was.
Right.
Oh wait a minute, I'm thinking about the very first Clone Wars episode. I'm sorry. The very first Clone Wars episode.
It's like a movie. The very first Clone Wars episode was where they go rescue the Hutt kid.
Right. But it started out, and this is when Ahsoka is introduced, it started out on a battle on a bridge, just like that one did.
Right.
Yeah.
On this battle, so you had Obi-Wan saving Cody, but then what did you all think of Anakin making the save?
I thought it was pretty good because Annie didn't really gave no F's on standing wide open. I think he knew that they was going to defeat him, so he just didn't care.
Yeah. See, I love that version of Anakin. To me, the Anakin from the Clone Wars is so much better than the movie Anakin. Like, why couldn't the movie Anakin be have the characteristics and stuff that this one does? Like, I just love the way he acts and everything in this, especially in that scene there, just the cockiness of walking right down the middle like that. I loved it.
Yep. And to be honest with you, I think that seems like Anakin's ways of doing stuff is a lot better than Obi-Wan's in certain situations.
Right.
I think Anakin would have left the Jedi Order eventually if he wouldn't have turned to Vader.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that, Mark. I think he was moving in a different direction
Yeah.
than the Jedi's would have been.
He would have still been a Jedi, but he would he would have still been a Force user. But he
Right.
wouldn't have been a Jedi, and he wouldn't have went to the dark side.
He
Yeah.
would have been more like what Ahsoka's path.
Yeah, like
Yes.
Ahsoka's path has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you even see in this episode, so like when they meet, Obi-Wan is all about the council. You know, every time
Mhm.
Bo, you know, like we need help, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll run it by the council. We'll get you an answer.
Yeah.
Anakin's ready to help him right then. There was no, he didn't need to go to no council. He was going to, you know, he didn't care. He was sending Ahsoka to lead them. He didn't care if she left it or not. You know, Ahsoka can lead the new division, and Obi-Wan immediately, no, she's not a member of the Republic.
I'll tell you something I noticed in this when you talk about Anakin, how much you like the Clone Wars Anakin. You know, and I think it's a matter of you've had all these years and episodes with Anakin, and it's allowed them to flesh the character out a whole lot better than it did in the prequels. But you see when Anakin first sees the hologram of Ahsoka. You know, he gets them big puppy dog eyes, and you know he's like, "Oh, there's Ahsoka. How are you?"
Mhm.
You know, Anakin is a very emotional character, whereas you think about Obi-Wan, and even in the original trilogy, Obi-Wan was not an emotional character. You know, he had a path that he was going on, and he still, you know, and to me, I think that's a testament of the character is that Obi-Wan still was following the direction of the
Of the
Jedi. Exactly.
Right.
But you see, again, you go back to that, Anakin was a very emotional character through the whole prequels.
And
You still see his emotions in this right here. I mean, you can see whenever she says, "Oh, I don't have time to talk about what you want to talk about." You can see he was hurt.
Oh yeah, he did, like you can actually
He's
see
pouting.
him this pout. Yeah, he like
Yeah,
just
he was
sinks
pouting.
down. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
which I think that's probably the reason why he turned to the dark side so easy too. Instead of
Well, Palpatine played on his emotions
he played on it. So
to the hilt. You know.
I've always thought that Anakin turning to the dark side was too easy. I mean, this is like 1 second he's Anakin Skywalker Jedi,
Mhm.
and the next he's Anakin Skywalker Sith.
Right.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
think maybe
It should have been different. There should have been more pain.
Well, I think
more,
we're going to see.
more fighting, more him
Yeah.
trying to deny it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Instead
we'll
of,
see it. There's
okay,
two, I mean,
boom,
in these
I'm a
two
Sith.
moving forward on the 2 episodes left though. Maybe
I don't
we'll
think
see.
we'll see Anakin
You don't think
again.
we'll see any of it?
I don't think we'll see him again. I really don't.
I think we will.
I think we get him in at least a hologram.
I think you'll get him and Ahsoka one more time.
I don't think they'll end the series just on Ahsoka, which they've said that there's probably going to be another season. So I don't know what they do because this one was such a big hit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's almost too popular to end it. You know.
Yes.
Especially after coming back for one season like that. So.
Yeah.
So you're saying, all right, so if they do another season of Clone Wars, or is it going to be called something different?
Because another season of Clone Wars.
Another season of Clone Wars, yeah.
So what's it going to cover?
No clue.
I don't know.
Is it going to go back in time? Is it going to?
I don't see it going just following Ahsoka though. Like it'll have more to it with them. I mean, I guess they could go back and pinpoint other stories that they didn't expand on if they wanted to go back, but
they could show the transition of the clone troopers to stormtroopers.
True, yeah.
With Vader,
I don't think.
See, that's what we don't have is the early Vader.
Right.
Well, yeah,
but we got it in the
Clone War ends in Revenge of the Sith, guys. That's the end of the Clone War.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are they going? I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I'm just telling you what I read on what I read on the net the other day.
Yeah.
Said that there might be another season.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I mean, they'd have to do something, unless they change the ending of this and it doesn't end the way we think it does.
Well,
but didn't they mention in the second episode about Anakin and Obi-Wan saving Palpatine from Grievous?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're like, good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
All right. So next, we'll see. We got.
I'll go back to the Anakin standing there when he force pulled the robot and slayed him.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. Yeah, that whole scene. I mean, you had comedy in there with Anakin just walking up and saying, "Well, there's only 1,000 over there."
Right. Well, I even like the one droid. Like, we can't hit him.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Why did you quit?" Yeah, I've always struggled with the comedic part of the droid troopers.
me too. Ever since Phantom Menace.
Ever since Phantom Menace.
I never was a fan of the Roger.
Yeah.
But it's grown on me. Like, I actually like it now. I think it's hilarious when they do that.
Well, it's as serious as these movies are. You look at the clone trooper. I mean, not the clone troopers, but the droids troopers, and you're like, why are they so funny? Why do they? Who would think to build that into them? Or is that just their personality?
Why do they even act like that? Why do they even speak?
Yeah, really. Why even have them
robots?
speak?
They can send a transmission.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. This is
From
another
the
thing I've
mind
always
of
kinda
George
wondered.
Lucas.
Yeah. So droids in the Star Wars universe are almost like a separate species,
Yeah, but they're second class.
but they're not even second class.
No,
All right.
no, they're way below that.
They're the way they because humans are still their masters, or they're still they still have masters.
They're owners.
Yeah, but their personalities and the way they are, they've always been like different. They're a different. When you watch a droid in a Star Wars movie, it's not the same as a droid in any other movie that you watch.
No.
It just they're different.
Mhm.
So I always wondered why are the droid troopers, are they different than regular troopers? And then you never seen another droid trooper on Jabba's slave ship in Cloud City when they're junking them. The Jawas.
Wasn't they some of them in Rebels? Wasn't they some of the old?
They found an old. Remember that they found a whole bunch of them that was deactivated in Rebels, didn't they?
Oh, was that in Rebels?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, that was in
I didn't
Rebels.
watch Rebels, so I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they turned them back on, but they worked with Ezra and them.
Oh, okay.
I don't
But
know.
after which I don't know if it's canon anymore or not, but in the expanded universe, they had stories set in the Clone Wars and stuff, novels, comic books, and whatnot. And they explained that after the Clone Wars was over, that it was made illegal to build a droid army.
Oh, okay.
And that all war droids, I guess you'd call
Warrior
them.
droids. Yeah.
Droids, I can't speak, were decommissioned and deactivated.
Okay.
Well, if that's canon, so that works. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't know if it is or not anymore.
Yeah.
Thing.
All right, moving on. We got Rex meeting Ahsoka. So Rex and all of his troops painted their helmets for her. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The one thing, and I noticed it again in the rewatch, Rex's helmet is painted. He's holding it.
Yeah.
But if you watch when Anakin goes and makes him commander, when Anakin and Ahsoka walk away from each other, you can see Rex walking behind Ahsoka, coming back up, and he's got his other helmet back. So I thought maybe they just messed up on that, but he'd already changed there. I think he was holding one of the other troopers.
Or maybe where he was commander, he had to
change back or something.
Had to change it back or something.
So.
Yeah.
I watched I was listening to a podcast and here the other day, and it was talking about this guy. He'd done an animation show, and he was talking about the process that goes into animating. He says you would think that, he said, it's not nowhere near what you think. He said if you've ever done like a television show or something like that, he said there's twice as many people working on these animation shows as there are like a normal television show.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And he said these guys that are directing these animation shows, he said they are like neurotic when it comes to continually, making sure that it stays in the same continuum, that they don't miss little tricks like you're talking about like that. So
They don't miss the coffee cup sitting on the table.
exactly, yeah.
Starbucks
You're not going
coffee
to see a
cup sitting on the
Starbucks cup on the table or something like that. So I could see, them, covering that right there.
Going back to when Ahsoka gets off the ship, you see R2 rolling like a dog over there, and the only thing she does is pat him on the head. I mean, you don't get no hi R2, nothing. You just get a pat on the head and just walk off. I mean, what a jerk moves that.
He was the first one to her too. He's the only one that ran to her.
Yeah, he was the first one to her, but
he don't get nothing. Just a little pat on the.
They ain't got time. They got to go save Mandalore.
Yeah,
well, it's R2, man.
I thought she said. I
was thinking that she said, "Hey, R2," also. Yeah, I thought she did.
Yeah, but you think she'd I don't know, like
what, hug him?
Treat him like a dog.
It's quarantine, Sean. She can't hug him in the quarantine. She probably wasn't supposed to touch him.
Yeah, it's supposed to say 6 foot away.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you notice how they made a point of saying what loyalty means to the clone troopers?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
you don't have to call me Commander. Sure thing, Commander.
Yeah, that kind of he made that comment, and all of them saluted her, and she just couldn't understand that. And I think that right there, especially if it's some of the first troopers that were made, it means a whole lot more to them than maybe some of the second ones. So you wonder how that is going to affect. You always kind of wondered, when Order 66 comes along, how easy was that for them troopers to just turn around and do it. The film, when we watched the movie, they just like all of a sudden were just
flipped a switch, literally
flipped a switch.
Yeah.
You wonder if it really affected those troopers afterwards.
Well, also you didn't know during the movie that the Jedi, was that close to their troopers, as that you learned during Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
during the movie,
movie, you think they was just like the way Grievous was with his droids.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know the you didn't know the relationship between Cody and Obi-Wan was as deep.
Yeah,
it really was.
Right. It's like they could resent them. They could be, we don't need them here. We could do this.
Yeah.
Then they get the order and like, hey, okay. Finally,
Yeah. Right. Finally, we get to let loose on them. Yeah.
Going back to that,
and other Jedi might not treat their clone troopers the way that Anakin and Ahsoka did theirs.
True.
Yeah.
Which I think it goes back to like they respected her as a leader more than as
I think they respected her more as a warrior than as a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I think too. Yeah.
Going back before that one, she's talking to Anakin, and Anakin says we got so much to catch up on. She just shuts him down and don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
More worried about Maul than she. Why is Maul that important that she couldn't catch up with Anakin?
I think, back in some previous episodes of the Clone Wars, they'd had several run-ins with Maul. And I think that the Bo-Katan helping or coming to find Ahsoka there and the end of that sister arc that shall not be named, I think that the time that she spent with the Mandalorians gave her a real sense of not pride, but loyalty towards them. And she wanted to make sure that these people were helped because they were in desperate need. That tells you something else too. They made the comment, when she said, "We've come for your help because we don't have enough people to do this." And Obi-Wan says, "Well, we can't go fight that battle there. It'll break hundreds of years of treaties." And she said, "Well, what's another war to you?" And Anakin says, "Well, we're not done fighting the one we got right now." But you kind of wonder if again, we know how Palpatine is orchestrating everything here. Do you think that he knew and he wanted to pull the Jedi even thinner, to make sure he could get his plans through, that he allowed them to have that little incursion there on Mandalore, the Siege of Mandalore, as they call it?
I think he tried to spread them. I think he tried to spread out every group just to make sure they all got the job done.
Make sure they all got them. Yeah. Make sure they all did what they were supposed to on the order.
Yeah.
And also, what caught my attention is when Obi-Wan says he has to ask the council, which he always asks for the council's opinion instead of having his own opinion on it, like Anakin does.
Right. Yeah.
Ahsoka looked at him and said that the people lost faith in the Jedi or whatever, something along those lines.
Yeah.
I have to kind of agree with her on that one because
well, I look at it as a standpoint of they done the one thing I will say out of the sister arc was them showing how how normal people really felt about the Jedi,
right?
Which wasn't very good. And then when you really see what happened to this point, you can really see how blind the Jedi were. Was that the Sith? Was that their power that caused that? The arrogance. They always talk. Yoda always talks about not being arrogant. Mace Windu always talked about not being arrogant. But the Jedi had a lot of arrogance on their side that they never really noticed in themselves.
Right.
To allow these things to happen. Yeah.
I agree. So at this point in the show, this is when basically your show's overlapping with Revenge of the Sith. So first time in the show where you're seeing basically alternate camera angles of what happened in the movie from other parts of the world. So I thought that was cool. They tied it in like that. So going forward, it's going to run right up with the movie, or should be close anyway. Let's see. I had a question about Ahsoka's lightsabers. So Anakin turned them blue, right?
They turned them what?
Well, no, they're blue.
Well, no, they were blue.
They're blue.
She always had blue lightsabers, didn't she?
No, she had green.
Green.
Oh, she did?
They was green. And then when he gives them back to her, they're blue. And he even says, I made them better.
Well, he said, I fixed them up for you, maybe a little bit better than what they were, something like that.
I thought they was like a toward a white color.
In Rebels, they're white. When you see her in Rebels, they're white. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, they're blue in this.
So
did he do that because his is blue?
He may have. Yeah.
I got another question.
She knows the difference in them, didn't she?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so the only difference that I could see that she would notice would have been the color.
Yeah, because even when she fires them up, she's like when he says that they may be a little bit better. She fires them up and looks at him and even smirks at him like, "Yeah, I know what you did."
Yeah. So
I didn't I've not watched all of the series before, but has her lightsabers always been one long one and one short one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's always run that samurai style dual lightsaber, dual swords. Yeah, one short and one long. Yeah.
I remember.
She's one of the only characters too that you'll notice that does the reverse grip.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Yeah.
She only does that on one of them though, don't she?
Yeah, the one that's behind her, the one that she can bring behind her, the shorter one.
Well, the long one. She runs the long one reverse grip.
Yeah, the long one's behind her.
Yeah.
Short one's in the front, I think.
Yeah.
Like, seems like the episodes I'm watching, like in season 4, she's only got one saber, maybe.
I was thinking, well, most of the ones I remember her in, I think she had two. Yeah. So I could be wrong there. Yeah.
And also, when she's jumping out of the ship, her superhero landing was pretty sweet. It was on point.
Well, did you? All right. So I watched it again here. Right when we were talking about, and did you notice the troop transporters that were carrying the walkers? Some of those troop transporters had I forget what that. Their AT. Is it ATST? This brand?
The little short one.
No, the walkers.
The 2-leg ones.
No, the 4-legged ones. Is it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know
I don't know their numbers. I know it's AT something. I don't know if it's ATST or AT It's not AT-AT. It's not AT-ATs. But some of those troop carriers were carrying those AT-ATs in their bellies because you could see their legs.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I seen that at.
Well, I mean, you seen that in Attack of the Clones because it showed them flying down and then dropping them and flying away.
Yeah, but that's the first time I'd ever noticed one in a Clone Wars. I just thought it was kind of neat to see it in animation like that. Yeah, but no, yeah, her jumping from ship to ship and engaging in battle, that was pretty sweet. I liked it.
That was probably my favorite.
I thought that was over the top.
Nah, superhero landing.
No,
you did the superhero.
She even did the landing right.
Yes, with the swords to slow her down. Yeah, that's Jedi, man. I'm telling you.
That's straight best scene in the whole episode right there. So superhero landing.
Yeah,
we gotta respect the superhero landing.
Scene of the episode. I'll take that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do this. Yeah, superhero landing.
Took me completely out of it. I don't like it no more.
So you just quit watching it after that, huh? Yeah.
I like that, and I love Saxton's gear, man. Like of all the Mando gear, his is awesome with the Maul spikes on it.
Sure.
I don't care for his. You know what he looks like? He looks like Saruman from Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
His armor. Yeah, because it's got the big towers all around it.
You don't like the yellow glow on the
no, I didn't say that.
And all that.
Yeah, I like that, and I like some of the paint schemes on the.
Yeah, his Mando set's pretty sweet though. I gotta get.
Yeah, on the Maul Mandos.
Mm-hmm.
But
I even like the Prime Minister Almec. His gear's awesome. The gold and the green like that. Very elegant.
Looking.
Yeah. But he can't fight worth a crap.
No, he
is terrible.
Quick, didn't he? Yeah. He's an old man. He's a figurehead.
I guess.
Keep running your mouth. I go in there and get the Boba Fett helmet.
So did you notice? All right, so they swoop in there and they get to the throne room, and before they get into the throne room, Almec, is that his name?
Prime Minister Almec.
Prime Minister Almec. He tells Saxton to go meet them and meet the clone troopers. He tells that one girl, her name is Rook. I got her name, picked her name out.
Did we figure out if she's related to Sabine or not?
No, I don't think she is. But he
he
tells her to go
with inform
the syndicate.
Yeah. If you think though, like she's got the same hairstyle.
Yeah. That's what made me think that.
That's what I was like. That's what I was going to ask too, but I can't think of her name.
The syndicate's the stuff from Solo movie, right?
Right. So he tells them go inform the syndicate. So it really goes to show you the level that that group of Mandalorians had failed to because they were letting the syndicate rule them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Then to close it out on this one, Maul has to get his big grand entrance. Yeah. I thought that was overkill, Mark.
I'm hating on Maul.
I like Maul, but we didn't need to see
Maul, but how many times are they going to let him have a big giant grand entrance? For technical difficulty, we're back live.
we apologize for those technical difficulties. Stupid Zoom went down.
That'll all be edited out.
Yeah, so if someone would like to help us with that, hit me up on PayPal.
Yeah.
So we was on Maul. We was talking about Maul's big grand entrance. I was saying it's a little bit overkill on that just because we don't need to see Maul get his big grand entrance 75 times in this series.
Yeah,
but he gets another one, so I guess I'm all right with it. But
Maul's always a good time for a grand entrance, boys. Always.
Yeah.
You hater.
Yeah. I did like his line though. Who are you? Why are you here? I wanted the other one. So
yeah, I wanted the other one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which at that, I'm assuming he wants Obi-Wan.
I would think.
But we find out later it ain't totally that. So
yeah.
So
I have straight into the next episode.
Right. Yeah. I have one more thing I seen on this episode today that I didn't know, and I didn't see it, and I watched it again tonight and completely forgot to look for it, but I had it in my notes here. At the very beginning, when they show the recap on the voiceover, it says that there is a scene that shows the new Jedi Council.
Yeah.
And in there, you see Master Depa Billaba, which was Kanan Jarrus, Caleb Dune from Rebels. That was his master. And it says there's a young Padawan beside of her that is supposedly him.
I've seen it. It does kind of look like him if you.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
it-
there's
I have to
a
go back
if you go
and watch
back
it.
and
I
watch
didn't
it.
see that.
Yeah, go back to the start of
So
it.
that's
watch
at the
it,
very first of it.
the very
at
first.
yeah, the
when they're doing
the
intros.
monologue at the start when all the
Yeah.
when it's
'Cause-
going around all
Yeah.
the different
Because
stuff.
if you look, he's kind of got like the same kind of hairstyle, I guess.
right, yeah,
As
see,
him. So
there's a Marvel comic that tells what happened to him and his master, you know, and why he, you know, how he got away from the Jedi Order during Order 66. It's a really good comic book.
in Rebels he kind of tells it to Ezra, just that he finally opens up to him in that one episode and just kind of, you know, like we fought side by side and they all turned on us and stuff like that and
So
killed
did
his
his-
master.
All right. So did they kill his master right at Order 66, or did they
66?
go into hiding together for a while?
No,
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 they
according
died in
to-
Order 66. He tells Ezra, you know, about the battle, you know, when Order 66 happened, and they all
Mhm.
turned on him.
yeah, they were on a planet with a group of clone troopers, and then Order 66 happened, and they attacked him. And
But now they tried to kill him too, right?
yeah, but he got away.
He got away. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm kind of hoping that we see the Jedi from that PlayStation game, Fallen Jedi,
Oh yeah,
in it. That'd be
Yeah.
kind of neat.
because I mean that's set at the same time, correct?
Yes,
oh, is it?
because-
Because I've not played it. I don't know.
Yeah,
if it-
because
He would have been
there's a
about-
scene on the ship. They were on a ship when Order 66 happened. 66 happened.
So that Jedi in the Fallen Order game,
He's
he
a
would have
kid.
been not. Yeah, the Fallen Order, was that the name of it?
The new one, yeah.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
He would have been about Ahsoka's age when she first come onto the show, like a teenager, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
And
so I mean, at the time of Order 66, Ahsoka's older than he would be from the video game, ain't he? A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not played the video game.
Yeah, he's just a Padawan learner now
Mhm.
during that.
Yeah.
That's all I've got on this episode. Like I said, you know, I really enjoyed this episode. Anybody
Never
else got any?
know.
Oh
other-
yeah, I enjoyed it. It was, again, like I said, it was a really good start to this final 4 episodes, and just put together well. All of it, I thought it was just a really good episode.
All right, moving on.
Well,
The second episode. Sean, what you got on it?
Ooh, It's season 7, episode 10, part 2. The Phantom Apprentice. Directed by Dave Filoni and Nathaniel Villanueva. Written by Dave Filoni. Created by George Lucas. And an IMDb score of 9.9.
Which I think is the highest in the show. Which I know it's early, so that'll probably get voted down a little bit over the months and years, but seems like that was the
there's
highest
very
one.
few episodes you've ever seen on IMDb of anything that were a 9.9 or a 10.
Yeah.
Nine's anything. So.
Tens.
The is it the whatever episode, and spoiler alert, Hank dies in Breaking Bad.
Breaking
It's
Bad
like a
was-
9. I think it's a 9.9.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thought you were going to spoiler alert in something in Rebels or something. I'm like, Bub, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
But
right. So in this one, you know, show starts immediately where last week's episode ended. No intro this week, just the title. So
just the title.
more, you know,
Movie, yes.
more movie type, more
Movie
leads you more to believe that I still believe this is going to get released as a movie.
Right.
I actually seen something today or
You mean
yesterday.
released from at the theater as a movie?
No, but put out as a movie is one solid cut. I seen a thing
Oh,
yesterday or
okay.
today, one that was talking about it like a celebration. They thought they may show it as a movie at like one of the celebration conventions or something like that.
It's probably not going to happen this year. So,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
all my notes are on my phone. I got to pull it up here. All right, I'm ready.
My first note on this one is, so based on the dream and what Maul said, you know, so did Maul know, or not, he did know, how did Maul know about Order 66?
Well, that kind of leads into my point too that I wrote down, because Maul right off the bat looks at her and he says, you know, you're not the one I was looking for. I wanted a Kenobi, that kind of thing. And I can't remember if she said, well, Kenobi's busy right now. And he looked up and he said, I think this was one of the key lines in the episode. He said, the moment may be upon us. So it
Mhm.
gets right into what you're talking about, you know. This whole episode
Ooh,
was really keyed on Maul and these visions he's had. You know, I never really had ever really thought about, you know, the visions that he's had, that he has had through this whole show and stuff. But I mean, he really talks about, you know, this vision is really driving him, the vision that he has.
Mhm.
And,
Well, I mean, you also got to look at it about Order 66. You know, he was Sidious's apprentice, so he probably
Exactly.
knew. I mean, and it wasn't the clone troopers made way before, you know, he died, before him and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fought when they started way before then by Sidious.
Right.
oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
And,
yeah.
you know, I'm sure he knew about it.
He probably
That's how
knew
come he knew.
something. Probably knew something
I'd
about
say
it.
he knew everything.
Well, if he did know, okay, so if he knew everything, and they casted him out like that, and he wants I mean, he obviously wants revenge on Obi-Wan, but I think he wants revenge on the Emperor too. Like, I think his ultimate goal is to be the Emperor
kill.
himself, to kill him. Why hold that information if he knew all that? Why not? What's he holding on to that for?
What good would it do him to tell anybody?
Well, they probably wouldn't
They're not
believe
going to
him,
believe him.
right? And then at this point in time, everybody's after him anyway.
Well,
Well, you know, he says to her right off the bat, you know, I mean, he says, the Republic has fallen. You're just too blind to see it.
Right. Oh yeah.
The Darth Sidious has won already, and you guys just won't admit it. You know, you need to understand that he has won already.
Yeah.
The time of the Republic, the time of the Jedi are coming to an end. So,
So if he knew
again,
all that, though, I mean, so you think he knew all that? Do you think Dooku knew that?
I don't think he did.
See, I don't think he did either.
I think Dooku was more of a puppet than Maul was.
Unless
I think,
Maul had a inside person around Emperor or something that was playing toward Maul's ear and the Emperor's ear.
no, I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I think after Maul got killed in the Phantom Menace, then I don't think the Emperor, and then the storylines, you know, of Maul in the Clone Wars.
Well,
I don't think the Emperor would have put as much trust into anybody again after that happened. You know.
And you got to look at it this way: the Sith, they would drop their apprentices at the drop of a hat. They didn't care if they found someone that they thought could be more powerful. Then
yeah, just because
their apprentice was gone.
Yeah, just look at Dooku, whatever her name was there. He just
Emperor.
Oh yeah, she failed him one time there, and he just went, "See ya, your history."
Well, Emperor told him to, but
yeah. I've always kind of thought that was funny, you know. So the rule of the Sith, there can only be two at a time, a master and an apprentice. So every apprentice of the Emperor, so he's the main Sith ruler, the master. Every apprentice has always had a Padawan or had an apprentice of their own. You know,
Well,
Dooku had his apprentice.
Dooku wasn't his, really wasn't his apprentice. Dooku wasn't a Sith. Dooku was just a dark Jedi. He was just a dark side user. He wasn't a Sith.
Oh, really?
There
See,
is
I've always considered him a Sith. I mean, he had a red lightsaber and everything. So you're saying he's not a Sith?
There's a difference.
What was his name? I mean, was it? And
You can be a part. You can use the dark side, go to the dark side, and not be a Sith.
Okay.
But wasn't he called? What was his other name? Darth Tyrannus.
Lord Tyrannus.
Lord Tyrannus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Count Dooku.
Yeah. But Lord Tyrannus was his.
Well,
that's
when they
the
go to the
name
dark
that.
side, they change their name.
Right.
Yeah. Just because they go to become a Sith, don't mean that they don't go to the dark side. You know, the Sith isn't a different dark side.
I got you.
Just a different. I read the history of them many years ago, but I forgot it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we think Maul knew the plan. Do you think Maul knew that Sidious was the Chancellor?
Yes.
Think he knew? So you think he knew
Think he knew
everything?
Yes.
I think
the whole
he
time,
knew.
I think he did.
I think he did.
Yeah, all the way
See, I
from the
don't think
beginning of his first
Because-
appearance.
Right. Because okay, yeah. But then Obi-Wan says that when talking about Darth Sidious, says that he played both sides. So we talked, we've talked privately about that, so now we think Maul knew. At what point do we think that the Jedi Council figured it out also?
when they sent
Like-
Anakin to spy on him.
When
think
you've seen when Mace
Anakin
Windu
came
took them
back to
other Jedi to Palpatine's room and got wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when that happened. I mean,
That
you've
figured-
seen that in the movie. So
Mhm.
Right. And so they sent Anakin to spy. They had to confirm it though, right? Is that why they did that?
I don't
Could
remember
be.
that. So I don't remember what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Did Anakin tell him?
Yeah, didn't he?
Yeah,
don't
he
remember.
told him because
Yeah.
the Chancellor, he admitted to Anakin that that he was a Sith Lord, and Anakin went and told Mace Windu, and then that's when they went to arrest the Chancellor. They were going to see the Chancellor when Anakin met them. They were going to take his power, make him resign. Whenever Anakin met him and said, "I think he's a Sith Lord," and so that's exactly what that happened. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Palpatine just destroys him. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What you got next on your notes there, Sean?
When hold on. When Maul was just chilling there on the throne.
Okay, my
Yeah, let's
next
back
my
that
next
because
one's before that. My next
Yeah,
one's
I've got a
before that.
couple here. Number one, the timeline really jumped out at me at this time because we jump right into a point in Revenge of the Sith. You see that these two things are happening concurrently.
Mhm.
They're going on at the same time. Obi-Wan tells them in that meeting that Anakin killed Count Dooku. So you automatically just are thrown right into Revenge of the Sith at that time.
Mhm.
What's going on? So that timeline really it really just closed in. Got together on that right there. I thought that was a really neat point.
And see, there's supposed to be a side by side. I haven't found it yet. I looked today and couldn't find it. There's supposed to be a side by side comparison that shows this episode and Revenge of the Sith playing split screen, and you can see what events actually happened at the exact same time. But when I find it, I'll send it to you. But
Yeah, there's some points coming up here that we'll talk about
Yeah.
that I hadn't really
Match up
thought about until I
perfectly, yeah.
listened to that podcast today.
Yeah.
Which if you sit down and actually listen to the audio of the episode really, really closely, that you'll pick out some things that I think was really neat. But yeah, that timeline I thought was a really neat thing. How about Obi-Wan telling Ahsoka at that time that she needed to be the one to talk to Anakin? That I thought that was,
I've got that, but
at that point in time,
was
though,
she-
I mean, he's the only one she really
trust.
or even listens to, probably.
True.
yeah.
But,
I think
like,
you
what
see
was he talking about? Like, what was he talking about? He should have told her that the Jedi Council was wrong, because at this point,
Well,
Obi-Wan knows. Even Obi-Wan knows that the Jedi Council is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he even said it. He told her. He said
Yeah.
they're not always right.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not always right. Yeah, he says that.
So, which is different from the episode before, because he's all about the Jedi Council. So
Mhm.
whatever happened between that episode and that
Mhm.
time period, he's like,
Yeah, something
Switch.
big time changed right there. That's
So
true.
is
well,
that
what
what-
happened? What happened on? Didn't they go straight to a meeting with the Jedi Council right after they saved Palpatine in Episode 3 or Episode whatever it was 6?
Well,
What was that about? I
he
forgot.
let he
So
let
wasn't there
Anakin
some-
do that.
Wasn't
Didn't
there
he?
some kind of argument between Obi-Wan and the Jedi Council?
I don't remember being in Revenge of the Sith. I don't remember an argument right there.
I can't
I
remember.
could be wrong.
I ain't watched that movie in a while, so I really can't remember. I got to go
Yeah.
back and watch it because I really don't.
Yeah.
But like, is that what Anakin was meaning for her to tell him, that the Jedi Council is not always right?
Well, no, I think Obi-Wan again playing the part of a Jedi and the Jedi rules and things like that. he wanted Ahsoka to convince Anakin that spying on the Chancellor was the correct thing to do, and she wasn't going to have that because
she trusted the.
she don't trust the Council.
Yeah, right, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
notice though she picked up on the spying immediately though? Like Anakin in the movies, like, so you want me to spy on him? And as soon as Obi-Wan tells her she's spy, you're sending him to spy on him, not
Mhm.
observing, spy.
Yes.
They, both of them use the word spy immediately.
Yes, both of them did. Yeah.
And I wonder why. I mean, I kind of get why he told the other ones to walk out and just tell Ahsoka that too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they don't want nobody else to know that they're watching the Palpatine, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Saxon gets sent to kill the Prime Minister in the cell there to make sure no info gets leaked out. On that one, that's the one where, if you listen, did you notice the Vader theme when you went back and watched it when he dies?
Yeah.
He's telling about the dream about Anakin becoming Vader. You hear Vader's music very vaguely in the background. That was pretty cool little effect on that.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I heard at that time.
Let's see, you go from there into what I thought was a really cool fight in the elevator shaft, but the later fights blow it away, so that's going to be a forgotten fight. So
yeah, they said that was a kind of a callback to an older fight. What was that scene? Oh, I forget what it was now, but there was another scene, another fight that happened in an elevator shaft.
Buzz versus Buzz Lightyear versus Zurg in Toy Story 2.
No, not that one. No, no, this was a Star Wars one, Chris. What was that? I forget what that was now, though. But there was another fight scene where it happened in an elevator shaft. I don't know if it was the one
Captain America fighting all the people
in Revenge of the Sith or what, but there was another scene in an elevator. But it was a really neat scene between the two.
I thought it showcased both of them really, really good. Like, I actually liked the way that was done. Made both of them look awesome.
Yeah, but it did get overshadowed by.
Got overshadowed bad.
Bad, yeah. Did you notice the, right after that, right there, is whenever they move back to Maul, and this is the time when he captures the ARC trooper, and they specifically made a point of saying it was one of the older troopers.
Right.
You kind of never really think about them being, an older generation clone troopers and newer generation clone troopers. And so you're kind of wondering what the deal was with that. Why would he? Because he said he made when she walked up to that trooper that was injured, he said he ran through us one by one until he found this older trooper.
Right.
Initially, I thought, well, he just slaughtered them one by one, but that's not what it meant. That meant that he was actually interrogating them one by one until he found that older trooper. What did he want with her? Why did he?
What exactly was he looking for, though?
Yeah, what's he looking for from this older trooper?
Right.
Was he trying to read into that chip that's in their heads? About Order 66? Was he just trying to find out stuff about Obi-Wan or Anakin or even Ahsoka?
Or even Ahsoka, because he don't know who she is. So.
Yeah, he really don't know who Ahsoka is at this point. So I thought, that was kind of a neat little.
And on that trooper specifically, with the tattoo, whatever on his face of the logo.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I've seen that or something similar to that before. I don't know for sure if it was the same guy or not, but
it probably was.
Right, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and then they said too he was an ARC trooper. So I was going to ask you all that. What's specific about the ARC troopers versus just the standard clone trooper?
I don't know. It'd be something. I'm sure that there's a 2-part episode in season 2, I think it was, that's called ARC Troopers. So I don't know if it explains what an ARC Trooper is in that or not. I've watched the episode, but it's been a while back. It'd be something I have to go back and check on.
Yeah.
They keep talking about this, the Sons of Dathomir
ARC
comic.
troopers are advanced recon commandos.
Is that what ARC troopers are?
So they're a specialty team then.
So they're like a special forces part of.
They're an elite variant of the Republic clone troopers, chosen from the ranks of the Grand Army of the Republic.
So that's another reason why an ARC trooper got picked. He would have had more knowledge
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Bad Batch is probably ARC troopers too, then, right? That they experimented on.
Don't know.
No, I don't know. I think those guys were just. I think that they were, and this
Just
is kind
certified
of.
badass.
Yeah.
It's
They
awful
are.
to say about the way they actually looked at the clone troopers, as far as the way they looked at them was that they would experiment on them and nobody would really care.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The status of ARC troopers, was bestowed upon clones who served with distinction on the battlefield, such as Echo and Fives.
So they wasn't created as an ARC trooper. They did so well they got promoted to an ARC
Yes.
trooper.
Rex
Okay.
is an ARC trooper.
So that hit that group of 4 original set right there. Fives, Rex, Cody, all them are ARC troopers then.
Yeah. So did so this guy right here, Jesse, was an ARC trooper.
Mhm.
So I guess I wonder if that whole squadron that went with
So it
her
was
with
the
all
whole
those ARC troopers.
501st? Was all the 501st ARC troopers?
ARC troopers, the 501st. Yeah. Were they ARC troopers? I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe.
Maybe.
could be.
So yeah. So after that, that's when you get the big huddle and you get the coach of the football team pep talk from Maul, getting them ready to go into battle, and delivers one of the best lines ever in the "If you die, you will die as warriors" speech.
Oh yeah.
Which was
yeah.
excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And he delivered it perfectly.
Yeah.
Of course, because it's small.
Yeah.
Man, he gave a lot of speeches in this, and
He talked a lot.
a lot of people would be like, "Well, he monologued way too much, too many speeches." I really think, though,
Who else was going to say it though? Like
who was going to say it? All of the interesting stuff come from him.
Oh yeah.
In the episode, all the stuff that would, that's got you thinking, oh, this is leading straight up to, Order 66, came from Maul. All of that stuff did.
Yeah.
Did you notice whenever he was talking to the Syndicate people, the guy from Han Solo was in there, Drayden Voss.
Yeah.
Was one of them that he was talking to. I thought that was a neat little Easter egg that they throwed in there, kind of tying that into the Solo movie. I'm going to give Star Wars this. There's been a lot of people say what they want to about the final 3 movies and the Solo movie and Rogue One and those kind of things. They are still keeping everything tied together. They're going to tie these things together one way or another.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see Gideon from Mandalorian appear in this somehow, because we know he gets the Darksaber somehow.
Yeah.
So like he would have been there during the Siege of Mandalore. So you might even see him just to throw a little Easter egg in there to connect it to Mandalorian.
I wonder if this is a different Siege of Mandalore. Somebody I'd read a thing said that they'd made a point that the stormtroopers are there, the clone troopers are there, and they never leave.
Right. See, I need to go back and watch. See, they show that in the Mandalorian. They show little clips of it there of when they pull him out of Mando out of the hole and stuff. You see all the Mandalorians flying around up there fighting that battle.
Yeah.
I need to go back and see if any of it matches up with armor and stuff to what's on there now. I'm like you, it may be a completely different episode.
Well, they show a droid. They show one of them battle droids. Is the ones that kill his parents or something. He's shutting the thing, and they shows a big battle droid there. So I don't know. You just don't know when this happened.
Right.
At what point did this happen?
Yeah, see, I hope maybe they will later, like you see on those timelines on there that just show when the show takes place. But I'd like to see a detailed breakdown, even like a documentary on it that just basically tied it all together for you, like specific moments in time, not episodes specifically, but
Mhm.
battles, different points in time that would line it all up for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we go from Maul's speech, and then you see them going after him, and they walk in the throne room, and sitting on the Iron Throne up there is Maul, looking good.
Sitting on the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
You taking a selfie there, Michael?
No, I've my primitive little setup here for this podcast. We were talking about in our last episode. I went through and found this little screenshot I wanted to show to you. I'll send it to the moderator here and let him pop it up on the thing if he can. Go ahead there, Chris. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Y'all discuss Maul on the throne while I try to do this here.
I thought it was awesome. They opened the door. It was very reminiscent of Han Solo opening the door in Empire Strikes Back, and there stands Vader, and the chick immediately, Bo-Katan pulls her blasters out, double blasters, and starts just firing away at Maul, and Maul just swipes them away with the Force.
While not moving his knee off, while not moving his foot off.
Yeah.
With his leg propped up.
He kept
Maul
it
was
propped
very
up on
strong
the side.
in the Force.
He is, isn't he?
Yes.
He is one
Very
of the
strong.
stronger Force users in the Star Wars universe, I believe. Again, you talk about his visions that he's having here. I don't know of anybody else besides Anakin or Luke. Luke had visions, real strong visions. But Maul
Ahsoka did some too.
Yeah, Maul always has real strong visions, and then his powers of the Force with the Force are very strong. But
you would think though that Palpatine would still know that he was alive though.
Yeah.
Unless the witches earlier on in the seasons did something to block Sidious or Palpatine or whatever you want to call
I don't think Palpatine cared, just to be honest with you. I think he just, like Mark said, these guys, they drop these people like crazy. Yeah. Can't hear you, Mark.
I had it on mute.
Yeah, you were talking away there, and we was like nothing's coming out.
He Palpatine realized how strong Anakin was, and he didn't care about Maul after that.
No, that's true. Yeah.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
Palpatine was playing the long game when it come to Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
He was. Padawan at the end of Phantom Menace. He's like, "Yep, right there. I don't care about this Maul guy anymore.
Yeah,
that's my future apprentice."
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, too, that kind of goes back to when Ahsoka's standing there and she agrees to join him, and then she asked why Anakin.
Right.
And
she joined him.
She was going to join him, but I think her mind was clouded by her respect or brotherly love, you could call it, I guess, for Anakin, for a reason why she went on to invoke the fight. With
but
Maul.
everything he told her right then
was true.
That caused the fight is
true.
100% true.
But
and it's probably why in Rebels, why she works with him in Rebels, because
she sees
after this, she's going to realize that he was right.
But you would think, though, that he could show her something, like, I don't know, somehow.
Yeah, but all he's got's a dream. It's just words. And like like Mark, like you said earlier, nobody would believe him anyway.
But if he's as strong in the Force, you would think, though, that he could somehow show his past dreams to somebody or something.
Right, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. You're always everybody says that, why isn't, why doesn't he play that card? Why doesn't he let him know? For one, I don't believe he knew that Palpatine and was Darth Sidious. I just don't think I don't think any of them. I don't think him or Dooku.
See, I kind of agree with Mike on that. I do think he knew about the plan just based on the knowledge of it, but I don't think he knew. I think that's the one thing that the Emperor kept.
That he was Palpatine, or that he was
the Chancellor. Yeah,
yeah.
I disagree when he tells Anakin to kill him. When Palpatine tells Anakin to kill Dooku, Dooku looks at him like, "Wait, what did I do to you? What did I do wrong, Master?" Then
Right.
Mhm.
he dies.
Because if you
Yeah.
think about it, every time it shows Palpatine or Sidious in anything, he's got his hood over
Head
his
cover.
face. You can't tell
Yeah.
who it is.
And see, that's on the other, like even the
And
scenes
his
in
voice
Clone
is
Wars
disguised.
when he's with when Dooku and Palpatine, or when Dooku and Sidious are in the same room together, he always has his hood up. Like
Mhm.
if it's just them two, why would he not just be like, "Hey, man"?
Yeah. But you'd also, I sit here and thought, well, you would think that somebody as strong in the Force as Palpatine was, that any other Force person would sense that. But the Jedi are around him all the time and never sensed that he was a Sith Lord,
Right.
So it's not really how strong you are in the Force, it's not really that you can sense how strong somebody is with the Force. But then you also have Darth Vader going, the Force is strong with this one, and that kind of thing, in
Well,
regards to Luke.
is the Force on the dark side that's so much stronger that they can block that they block that? That's like
Oh,
that they can actually prevent them from getting from.
Yoda answered that when Luke asked him. Said, "No, it's not stronger.
Yeah.
The dark side isn't stronger than the light.
Yeah, but Yoda said that
It's easier."
it's easier. Yeah, he also said that the Jedi had been fooled this whole time with Darth Sidious, with the Palpatine. He. So I think it was the dark side of the Force clouding the Jedi's perspective, and then again, I have a arrogance feeling towards the Jedi. They were very arrogant in their motives and those type of things, and I think that caused them to have a clouded mind when it comes to the dark side of the Force and being able to sense Palpatine earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
So in the throne room, you get the first battle between Ahsoka and Maul, which was awesome. We seen today that what we had heard that Ray Park did the mocap for it. Today, Disney released the behind the scenes video of it, and he did do all that, which
Yeah.
it's very cool to see. If you ain't watched it yet,
I'm not seeing
recommend
it,
watching
so.
it. It's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Is it on Disney Plus?
No, they tweeted it. It's
Okay.
on there today. It shows it side by side. You see the fight, and then you see
Oh, that's cool.
them in the mocap
I'm
doing
going to watch
the.
that as we get done.
Well, so you're talking about that battle right there between Ahsoka and Maul.
First battle between them.
The first part of in the throne room,
Mhm.
and then how it seamlessly moves outside to the battle, between the Maul's Mandalorian troopers and the clone troopers,
Yep.
and Bo-Katan's troopers.
It broke it up just enough.
Yes.
Like if it had been all Ahsoka and Maul, and then they
Mhm.
showed all the outside stuff, it would have probably felt too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
But man, they seamed it together well, didn't they?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it went absolutely perfect.
And did you listen to the soundtrack? If you have it, go back and listen
I'll pay attention to. Yeah.
to the music. I mean, it's got this ominous feel to it, and I mean, it's very climatic, like very, you're just like, man, that's something really big going on right there.
Yeah.
It made it feel huge.
What did you think about cocky Ahsoka?
I liked.
In that, is that the first time she's ever really trash talked like that though?
I can't never remember ever.
So I don't remember ever doing it, which I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Also,
But yeah,
going
she
back,
was very trash
going
talky.
back-
Yeah.
going back, it might have been before they started fighting. When you see the glass break,
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're just talking.
and
Yeah.
it was slow motion. You like the pan around them.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best parts in the whole fight scene was that pan as you see the glass.
That looked
in
like
between
something
them.
they do in one of the live action movies.
Do you think that the animation, this 4 sets right here, the storyline, some of the storyline was written already, but I don't think any of it was animated.
No,
So
I think they had. I think they had the idea of how it was going to play out, but I don't think it gotten that detailed as it is.
I
So
thought they released that the scripts was already written.
Well, there was for some of the episodes,
Yeah.
like the
What I seen was
Bad
the Bad
Batch episodes
Batch
had been written
and the
before,
sisters.
and the sisters had been written before, and
But
some of this arc had been written before. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it had.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at though is, do you think the animation style for this, uh, for these episodes, this season 7, looks better than even like seasons 1 through 6?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's different.
it's different. I
It
think
is
You can
different, isn't
tell
it?
differences
Yeah.
in their faces and stuff.
yeah, 1
Yeah.
through
because they
6.
look
Especially
more
like
clean.
Anakin and Obi-Wan's face.
Yeah, this is a hybrid of Rebels and Clone.
Yeah.
Like it ain't full Rebels animation, but it's advanced past Clone Wars
Like
animation.
I'm on, I think like season three or start of 4 of Clone Wars because I've paused and watched the last season. I watched the recap and you can tell the lot difference of stuff that was done early on in these last 2 episodes.
Well, I seen
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I seen something the other day. It said that Anakin's hair moves now, and it had never moved in the Clone
Yeah, never
Wars.
moved before, but it does move in this
It
one.
does move
Yeah,
in this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you
I mean,
know,
that's just-
I had read that
I just gotta show you. That's just like anything else. The graphics from the original trilogy to,
Phantom Menace
Phantom
to
Menace, that stuff.
to the Force Awakens trilogy.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But watching it, I don't think of it as being a cartoon. Like
no.
when you get into the episode, especially like during that fight scene and stuff, that's the farthest thing from my mind that it's actually animated. Like to me, it's almost real. You
Mhm.
get so invested in it.
Well, they even talked about how I'm sitting here watching this fight scene again right now. How when the lightsaber blades move,
Mhm.
it's got that
The
fan behind it,
Yeah.
and I'm just telling you that is wicked looking.
Yeah.
And to know that they do that in an animation, it just blows my mind. How they can do that.
I mean, watch it on. You need to watch it where they show the behind the scenes on that on the mocap because you see them just in the suits with the little balls all over them doing the mocap, and then you
Mhm.
see the rough edit that just shows basically the outline of Maul and the outline of Ahsoka
Like
doing
the-
those moves, and then you see like what would be like a 3D animation, but it ain't detailed, and then you see the final, and it's amazing the steps that goes through. Like I can see why it takes them so long to do that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did they have mocap for the original from the start of it?
No,
I don't know if they've ever done emo cap before.
I don't think they
No?
have it. And like and the mocap is only the fight scene. It's only the 2 fight scenes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And then I seen something today or heard, I don't remember where I seen it or heard it at, but they was talking about Maul getting one-upped by Ahsoka in battle in this,
Mhm.
saying that, she was, she's an experienced, trained fighter, but he's a super experienced, trained fighter. And should she have really been able to one-up him on that? But this is the first battle he's had that we've seen since he was decapitated.
No, he fought.
He fought in some of the early.
Yeah, he fought in some of the Clone
he
Wars
fought-
with his
okay.
brother Savage Oppressed. Yeah, he
Right.
fought in those too.
But in this one here, they was talking about him, with his metal legs being slower because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe
I
that
think
was
it really
why.
just shows Ahsoka's skill, though. The battle transition. I think Sean, we talked about this before. Whenever she throws him out of the window, and you see the lightsabers cut.
The lightsabers cut the
glass
glass.
that was really cool, the way they done that. But when you see when they go up into the rafters and they're fighting there,
What was they actually?
he gets her, he beats her pretty handily. She won the battle down in the throne room, but he pretty handily defeats her up in the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
She kept it close there, I thought, but he disarmed her both weapons. He disarmed.
Took them pretty quickly too up there.
Yeah. And
maybe he was just better fighting up there than she was fighting.
Maybe,
like
yeah.
that. Something.
I can't understand, and this is always a villain trait. What gets a villain defeated? So he's got her disarmed. He cuts that rafter so it's kind of angling down.
Right. And then
he's
jumps
standing on the end of it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why don't you just cut the other section and make her fall?
Right.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Make her fall.
Yeah, I said, why do you have to try to kill her with your lightsaber? I said, you cut it. She's on the downside.
Well, they got to capture him somehow, Mike.
Well, I know, Sean, but I'm a realist and looking at the quickest way to end a battle, and I'm like, heck, just cut the rafter on the other side, make her fall. I said, you defeated her, and because he jumps over. I'm watching it right now. He jumps over, and he sits there and he starts monologuing to her again.
I don't think he wants to kill her.
No, he wanted another apprentice. He
so
wanted
that's
her
the
to
reason
be his
why.
apprentice.
That's probably the reason why he didn't kill her.
Yeah,
Is
the same. He's always looking for an apprentice. I think that if he'd have had a chance to defeat Sidious, let's say if she would have joined him, and then they would have went and defeated Darth Sidious, he would have become a Sith Lord. As much as he says he wouldn't have, I think he would have become a Sith Lord at that time. Because he even wanted Ezra Bridger to be his apprentice in Rebels.
Yeah, but he turns on him in a drop of a hat. I mean, like he had no interest in helping Saxton at all.
Oh no,
die Mandalorian, die. He had nothing for that. He'll use them up until they're no good to him no more. He ain't putting himself in danger to save them.
Oh no.
My other note on that was who in the world was coming to rescue him? Like
I don't know.
Who is piloting that ship?
Yeah, it was a female voice. Whatever it was.
It said female voice. Well, I got to thinking about all the tie-ins on it. Is this before Solo or after Solo?
This is way before Solo.
Okay, so there's no way it's the Amelia Clark's character.
No, it wouldn't have been Amelia Clark.
Okay.
No, it'd been somebody that you don't know about.
Been the Mandalorian chick that we was talking about could be Kendra Sabine.
Okay, Rook. Did they show Rook in the battle anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they showed her in the battle on the ground. She got defeated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we still don't know if that one girl is the armorer from Mandalorian.
No, I don't think they ever.
The voice is, but it ain't come out and confirmed that's the character yet.
No, no, they've never come out and said that.
The voice is Emily Swallow or whatever her name is.
Right. Yeah.
Which one was she again?
She's the armorer.
Was she in this episode of?
No, it was in. She was in the one with the sisters when Bo shows up at the end of the sister arc to ask Ahsoka to come help him. She's one of the three with.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah,
I was probably too busy trying to wish it hurry up and get over with.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that.
I mean,
so what do you think about them capturing Maul there? Wrapped him up. They used a stunner setting on their blasters that you hadn't seen since Star Wars Episode 1.
How's he getting out? Make your prediction now. How's he getting out?
Ahsoka.
Because he ain't staying captured.
Ahsoka,
no, he doesn't.
Ahsoka or the events of Order 66.
Yeah, like you think Ahsoka. I almost think
Ahsoka breaks him free.
I think Ahsoka goes to him and lets him out because he has to help her get away to survive Order 66.
I think she helps him get out when she realizes that Anakin turns to the dark side.
It would not surprise me if this next episode did not open up with Order 66 going down right off the bat. And
if they do that, that leaves the last episode to set up a future season if they are going to do it. Would have an idea of what it might be then.
I could see this future season, her having a hologram conversation with Obi-Wan and him saying, I'm going in hiding or something like that.
And for her to go in hiding too, I could see that.
For her to go in hiding too, yeah.
But also too, it targets the Jedi and the Jedi Council. She's technically not a Jedi and not a part of the Council, so therefore Order 66 really probably don't count for her.
Well, we don't know.
Say we don't know. Would they target her or not?
Yeah, would they target her? Will they target everybody that's a Force user? Is that what you said a minute ago, Mark? Do they target everybody that's a Force user or what?
I bet they do target her.
I bet they do.
I bet they do too, and I bet he saves her.
Who?
Yeah.
Maul.
I think Rex does.
think Rex
I
did.
think
See, how
Rex
does
will.
how does Rex not turn?
Yeah, well, I wonder what's keep
I
Rex from turning.
I think he resists.
Because see, we know Fives took his chip out and died, and then the Bad Batch arc.
Did Fives die?
Who did they? Is Fives the one they rescued in the Bad Batch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so who the other one? Who's the one that went crazy then? Like in this season 6 of Clone Wars, that he remember he went and
Because
he was one of
Five,
he took his chip out and wound up dying because of
the
it.
reason why
Oh,
Five
the
got
one that went crazy he killed a Jedi. He killed one of those sisters.
Yeah,
He ended up dying.
right.
All right.
That wasn't Fives.
No, his partner was the one that was trying to save him when they took him back to not Genosha, but the Camino. When they took him back to Camino, the one that went crazy, he died there.
Right.
wasn't
His friend tried to save him. He took his chip out, and then he died.
wasn't it
Right. Yeah.
wasn't because when I watched the recap thing, I'm thinking it was they said when somebody was telling them about the chip and they got captured. When that Five they got captured, and that's the reason why Rex was trying to find him.
Yeah, yeah. But
He
I
killed
think,
him.
but see, Rex thought he was dead, but they was getting a signal from Fives, is why they sent the Bad Batch to go
So
Mhm.
go get him.
rescue him. And that's when they found out he was still
yeah.
alive.
But like,
Yeah.
well,
Oh, in Rebels, Rex is in Rebels.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Old man
Who's
Rex.
the other? Who's the? Yeah, old
There's
man.
two
Rex.
other
Who's the
ones.
other one?
There's
Who's
two
the
other ones, but they wasn't.
I watched a
they-
little short video today. One was named Wolf.
Yeah.
One was named. You had Rex. There was 3. One was
But
Rex.
they
one
was those other
Wolf.
two wasn't like relevant in Clone Wars that I
Yeah,
can
I don't think they
remember.
were prevalent
okay.
in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
The other 2 wasn't. Yeah.
And then ain't there another one in Rebels where they go to like a don't they go to like a little town or
They go
something
to
where
a
like 3 or 4 of them?
planet, and they go to this planet, and there was one that had deserted,
Yeah.
and he was a farmer. He turned into a farmer, had a family, and everything.
Right. Yeah.
That watched a short video today, and it was the Rex's first appearance on Rebels, and Kanan Harris, he looks up and he says they're clones, and he immediately drew his lightsaber,
Oh yeah.
and they were
Last
like, "Oh
time he
no,
seen them, they tried to kill him.
yeah," and they was like, "Man, he's a Jedi," so they fired on him. He had a disdain for the clones. I mean, he
Who
like
is this?
hated them.
Kanan
Who hated
Jarrus. Kanan
Kanan-
Jarrus. In
Kanan
Rebels.
Jarrus in
Yeah.
Rebels.
Well, yeah, because they attacked him.
They
and
killed
his-
killed his
master.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking to him here, this is what you had, Mike. Did that pop up?
Yeah, that popped up. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
And
yeah,
then
right.
there's
So right
another-
there, that's Kanan, right?
Yeah, that's Kanan. Yeah, and I didn't take a picture, another picture, but there's like 2 seconds past this right here, there's a close up of those 2.
Mm.
So yeah, that's who you got there.
yeah, because it kind of like pans out and goes
Mhm.
towards it goes toward the right side of the pan.
I bet you we see that because that's the battle they can show next week. This guy, all these over here, we've seen in the movie. We've seen the clip of them all turning on him. We've not seen anything with him.
That could be part of the
I bet you
episode.
we see that battle.
Yeah.
I'll make a prediction. We see that.
And you notice the only one that's all of them holograms except for Yoda. Yoda's the only one there that's not a hologram. So
Mace
all
is
these
there,
guys
too.
are off planet somewhere.
Well, no, Mace is not a hologram.
You would think they'd give Yoda a table or something standing on. Good Lord, son.
I don't see Mace. Where's
You don't
Mace?
see Mace to the right?
Oh, no,
he's behind the chat window.
Yeah, he's behind the chat window.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, let's see. This guy right here,
Get
the one
Yoda.
standing in the bottom.
This one.
Yes.
He got
Hey,
killed. He was in a plane,
He was
in a fighter.
he's in a starfighter.
That's
This
Plo
is-
Koon, right?
Kit Fisto, isn't it?
Or is it Kit Fisto? Kit Fisto?
Yeah, I think-
you're
Yeah,
right.
it's Kit Fisto. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dies on the planet, and this is probably the woman that died. That other one
That's
She's a
Ayla.
that was
Twinkie.
shown in the show, or was that a
Yeah.
Twi'lek that was shown in the show in the movie that died?
It's a Twi'lek, wasn't it? This
It
girl
might
blue.
be
Well, this is another. They're
one
both
in the
same-
movie
they're
was
the same-
green.
That's
they're
in
the same
Ahsoka.
race. They're the same race. I
What?
seen that in. I read that somewhere that
Well, they got the
some
same
of them
kind
are
of.
green and some of them are white, but they're the same race.
Twi'leks?
Twilkies, Twi'leks, or whatever they call them.
Twi'lek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
they're
green,
the
ain't
same
they?
race.
I thought
Huh?
they
They're
were
green. I've never seen them. It
No.
wasn't green.
No,
Yeah.
they said
The
that
ones you're
these-
thinking of look like Ahsoka. See,
Right.
that woman looks like Ahsoka.
She does, but they're
Is
the same
Ahsoka's
race.
race?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ahsoka's not a Twi'lek.
I think she is.
Look up Ayla Secura and see if that ain't her.
Is that the one that died in the movie?
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And then
yeah.
that's Cody, right?
Yes.
Because it's got the yellow. And then I've seen that guy. I can't think of his name. And
He's
then
a
I don't know
wimp.
who this is. Who's the white trooper looking guy over here?
I don't know who that one is either. Yeah. This one right here to the left of that white trooper guy you're talking about. Yeah, he always get disarmed or something.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He lost his lightsaber in the second episode too. Yeah. Had to be helped.
Ahsoka is Togruta female from the planet Shili.
Oh, okay.
All right. And who did you want me to look up, Luke or Chris?
I'm looking. Let's see. I got it right here.
Faster than you, man.
All right. While I'm looking this up, we forgot to do the MVP of the episodes. So from the first episode tonight, who you giving the MVP to?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's the star of the first one?
Oh yeah, I think she's the star of the first one.
I think Anakin's the star of the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
No, Ahsoka is.
Just
There
that
wasn't
at the
enough
start.
Anakin in there.
I gotta go with Chris on this one. Anakin's probably because Ahsoka really don't. But she, both episodes are kind of running together because I just watched them again. But
They both equally had an awesome battle type scene
yeah,
in that episode.
I'm gonna still give it to Ahsoka. You don't jump out of a plane with no parachute and land like she did, and Anakin never. He only made one. He only drew his lightsaber one time when he pulled that tech droid into it and cut its
well,
head
that was
off.
awesome
Other than
though.
That's
Other
all he
than that,
needed to
he
do.
didn't do
Michael.
anything else. So I'm gonna go with Ahsoka.
All right. So the second episode, who's your MVP?
Darth Maul.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Maul.
Both
I
of
mean,
them.
the whole episode came through him, out of him. I think everything in the episode. Was
This
just
is who. Here
tied to
is
Maul.
the. Here's the girl I'm talking about. Is that who the one is?
That's the one that got killed on screen.
Okay, that's Ayla. Ayla Secura.
Yeah, and she
So-
got killed in a. She was in this vegetative looking planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She got killed on which screen?
In episode 6.
Okay.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Headphones ready to die.
6th movie.
Do what?
It was the 6th movie, but episode 3.
Yeah.
You're muted, Mike.
Oh, you would.
Oh wait, never mind. No, you're not. You're good.
I didn't think I was.
Yeah.
How do you spell her name?
Ayla. Secura.
Okay.
My headphones are beeping. They're getting ready to die.
That's all I've got on this. Did y'all have any other notes we missed on that?
Let me look at mine. Mine's on my phone. Oh, when he gets captured, and hopefully we might get to see this. My final thought on the whole thing is: do you think Maul tells them, "See, this is true plan," and it's
No.
just too late for them to stop him?
It's just too late. I don't think he would. If he did tell it, it would because he. Would
I mean,
know
I
it
think he would
late.
tell them. They just probably wouldn't believe it,
Mhm.
or it's just too late that they can't stop it.
So, we've talked about how some of these episodes are going right at the same time as Revenge of the Sith. So I seen a thing today that talked to, again, listening to the audio real closely of the episodes. When Maul and Ahsoka are fighting each other right at the beginning, when he jumps into her, they said that you could hear Palpatine's roar at that same time
Right.
when
When
he's
Maul
fighting.
screams, he screams. I reckon if you sync it up just right.
Well, they say if you actually listen to it, it's not Maul screaming, it's Palpatine scream.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So
When Maul screams in the episode.
in the episode, you're right, when they right at the first of their battle in the throne room, that
Yeah.
when he screams, but it's not him screaming, it's Palpatine screaming. And it's the scene where Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith draws his lightsaber and does that twirly move
On
and
Mace.
jumps on Mace, and like Mark said, just wipes them out. So it's kind of playing in that these two fight scenes are going on at the very same time.
Right. And
So
and it even
if that's
says
true.
right.
You think that fight scene and Ahsoka fight scene is going on at the same time?
That's what
Yep.
they're saying
That's
online.
That's what they're saying.
But
Maul
The
versus
time doesn't
Ahsoka.
match up.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I guess it would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Order 66 is soon.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
happening.
Friday, from what I've just read here on the interweb.
Yeah.
Order
It's a
66
Friday.
is going to happen Friday.
Yes.
And when it's synced up like that, the thing that we seen, Mike, when it's synced up like that, you get that, and then you also get when Ahsoka tells Maul, it's a good thing Anakin isn't here because your skills have diminished or whatever. When she says it's a good thing Anakin isn't here, if you're playing them side by side, that's when Anakin shows up
And runs up to where Mace
and runs
Windu
up
is.
to where Mace is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the Emperor on the ground, and
Yep.
yeah.
We might see, not this weekend, it was Friday, but in the final episode, some kind of battle between. No, we won't see that. I'm saying between Ahsoka and Anakin before Vader, but no, that don't happen. Unless it happens like on his way to Mustafar or something.
Well, no, because there's a time when
Be honest, if she's there when he's fighting Obi-Wan, I think she's watching it and won't do anything.
no, they make a point to saying in Rebels that the last time that Ahsoka saw Anakin was when she left to go fight at the Siege of Mandalore, and he went to rescue the Chancellor.
That was mentioned in Rebels.
Yeah, it was talked about in Rebels.
Like like in Rebels, like you even get the impression she assumes he's dead, right?
Yeah, she didn't know that Vader was Anakin. She thinks he's dead.
And then when Vader shows up, she senses that that's Anakin, but she don't believe it. You can tell she's conflicted with it, and until she fights him and cuts his mask and sees his eyes, that's when she realizes. And
I think you're going to get a scene.
You need to go watch it, Sean. That's the one episode you need to watch. You need to watch.
I think you're going to get a scene where
see,
Obi-Wan is talking to Ahsoka
Maybe
and telling
she sees
her that he has had to kill Anakin.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan thinks he's dead too, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah,
Obi-Wan
he
and
does
Yoda think he's dead.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, Obi-Wan and Yoda think he's dead.
I'm not watching Rebels, so what you're saying? Okay.
But at some point between the end of
Do you think
Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars, Obi-Wan realizes that
he's not dead.
Well, yeah, it's probably really early too, because when Vader goes on his rampage to kill, to hunt the Jedi down, you know that somebody gets word to Obi-Wan that Vader is doing that, because how would Obi-Wan know to tell Luke that a dark that a person named Darth Vader killed all the Jedi and killed his father and that kind of thing,
Right.
So,
Right.
But yeah, I think the scene you're going to get is Obi-Wan telling Ahsoka that he had to kill Anakin because he turned to the dark side and done all this stuff.
Or we might see her watching that and sees Obi-Wan, Anakin just laying there, and they assume both of them's dead, and she talks to Obi-Wan after that.
If she sees that, or or if Obi-Wan tells her, like that still don't really match up with what Maul's told her at this point. Like I don't see her, like I see her going after Obi-Wan for killing him. Like I
No.
don't see her siding with him at this point though.
No. I think
Well, maybe she just,
Maybe she
Maybe
joins
that's
away,
why
Maul.
she
away
leaves.
from me. I don't
Maybe-
like you no more.
Yeah, she's just leaving all the way around, which
Yeah.
he's going into hiding too. So
Which
I
I
think
never
something's
understood
going to
that.
have to happen that's going to make Ahsoka not trust the clone troopers. So I think they will go after her on Order 66.
mhm.
All
I
right.
don't think Rex will.
Except
what
I
I
for
mean.
think Rex is the only one that she'll trust.
I
Yeah,
think they
Rex
will
is
go
on
after
one.
her, and Rex will stop them somehow if he has figured out a
Or
way.
he will help her get away.
Or
Yeah.
help her get away, or she may take him with her.
Yeah.
You know, again, that scene in Rebels when it reintroduces Rex, Ezra says Ahsoka Tanu sent us to find you and said that we could trust you. And he said if Ahsoka sent you, then any friend of Ahsoka's is basically a friend of mine.
Right.
So I think that those two may have actually went into hiding together for a little while. See what I'm saying?
Right.
After
they've-
that.
They've
Yeah.
made the point on loyalty. You know, Anakin pointed out the loyalty, and honestly, I mean, like nobody was more loyal than Obi-Wan and Cody. You know, like they're up there as high as any of them, and Cody still turned on him. So, like, I don't think just Rex being loyal to Ahsoka is enough to not turn. There has to
Right.
be more to it.
Exactly.
Something else has got to happen.
Yeah.
I think somebody tells him that he's got a chip in his head and he removes it.
Well,
Like
he
when
died in.
But when they did that, though, you see the one that did it had the scar, and he don't. I looked, he don't have the scar, so he ain't removed it at this point.
No, he has not removed it at this point.
Yeah.
Because in Rebels, when they introduce him again, I know I keep going back to this. It's only like a 2-minute little clip there on YouTube I watched today. But on Rebels, he says, "I removed my chip," and he shows him the scar on the side of his head.
So I was looking up a picture right now to see if he had it in Rebels.
Yeah. So yes, he does have that. Yeah.
Well, Rex having a scar?
Mm-hmm.
He does, because I seen the recap before I watched the season. I watched the recap and it showed some of Rebels, and it shows him in Rebels with a scar on the side of his head. I think somebody gets word to him and he removes it before Order 66.
Let's see. Here you go, right here. There's the scar.
Yeah.
And then this guy's got a wicked scar.
With his eyes, he's got a blind eye too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rest of it, though.
Oh yeah.
I think these last two episodes are going to be. I mean, these first two episodes have been incredible. I mean, if these last two are as good or better, like holy cow.
Mm-hmm. I kind of agree with what Mark said. It's a shame that you had an animated series that has got you more excited than 3 multi-million-dollar budgeted movies did.
Prequels.
Yeah.
Even the sequels. I actually like. I mean, like I've enjoyed. I was late watching the Clone Wars, so I didn't, so I didn't have the big gap waiting between it and stuff like that. But watching it within the last year, watching all of it, like I really, really liked it. Like to me, it's as good or better than some of the movies.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, to me, the Clone Wars have aged a lot better than what I ever would have thought they would have.
Mm-hmm.
Box office wise, they didn't do that great. There was a lot of people that, I mean, not Clone Wars, but the prequels.
Yes.
Prequels to me have aged a lot better than
Except
what I.
Phantom Menace.
Well, yeah, but even still, Phantom Menace
Phantom
sets
Menace
it
was
up.
still better than what we've got in the last few years.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace. I mean, like
Rogue One and Solo.
I just didn't like on Phantom Menace. I don't know. I just was not a fan of the pod racer stuff.
I was a fan of the kid stuff.
The kid stuff like that. But now, like the Maul,
kids buy
Qui-Gon,
toys.
Obi-Wan stuff at the end saved that movie for me. I mean, I thought the back half of that movie is incredible.
Yeah, the back half.
And you just got to look past Jar Jar. I mean, every time I watch it, I hate him more and more.
Well, yeah.
Well, kids buy toys, so you have to understand why that was there.
Yeah.
But now, like this Clone Wars show, though, has made me like the prequels a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the sequels have made me appreciate the prequels a lot more.
I'm sure that'll do it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I watched Rise of Skywalker again last night, man, and I really like it. Like I don't have a problem with the last movie. I actually
You're
really,
fired
really
from
like
this podcast. Get out.
it. I'm the host. You can't kick me.
Well, it won't happen then. It won't be a thing.
I'm with you on Chris. The last one's really not that bad.
I don't hate the last
I
one.
don't
like
hate it. It's just certain things that they did in it, certain themes, just
Yeah.
really irked me.
The
Like
yeah.
bringing back
middle one.
Palpatine. They might as well not even had, Luke's battle
Looks.
in the original 3 movies was useless, was wasted
Yeah.
by bringing back Palpatine.
I mean, Luke's a whiny butt anyway, so screw it.
But-
Hush, millennial. You don't know that.
But I don't know what they would.
Lonnie
I
anyway,
honestly don't know what they could have done to justify the Rey backstory that would have worked.
Oh, I do.
What?
I know. There's 2 things I think they could have done. Number one, they could have come out and said that Rey was Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Yes.
That he hid somewhere because, and then they could even put Palpatine in. He hid her because he didn't want Palpatine finding her. All right.
Because they could have said Luke knew that Palpatine was back and
Yeah.
he hid her because he didn't want Palpatine to find her.
Yeah.
Or they could have just left it as she was a nobody.
They
Right.
could have.
I think
Just
that.
not mentioned it.
I think that. Well,
I'll be
if
honest
they
with
was going to do the nobody though, they should have never mentioned it.
True.
No, they should have explained why she could pilot the Falcon like she could.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Or-
could have went from, they could have did, explain that as she's Luke's daughter, as in, she went flying with her Uncle Han.
Hmm.
He'd take her, teach her how to fly it.
Yeah.
Or
And the whole
they
him
could have just
losing the
had
Falcon,
her
I didn't like that. That's stupid.
had her stay evil.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been awesome. She
I'd
could
have loved
been the
that.
Emperor for the next group. The last
Yes.
thing could have had her standing on the throne, looking out. And
Yeah, because why is
And
the
then
good
you
guys
could've had-
always got to win?
Can you
then
imagine
you,
though?
then you
If
could
that,
have had Kylo Ren, who came back to the light, been the antagonist, the good guy in the next trilogy. That would have been awesome.
or
Now,
what
I
if?
would've-
Yeah. Or what if it even goes like it did? Kylo Ren brings her back, but he don't die, but she kills him, and then sits on
Yeah.
the throne as it goes off. Puts her hood
Yeah,
back
but
up.
Kylo Ren was the best character in that trilogy, so
Yeah.
I didn't want him
You
to
know,
die.
I kind of hate to agree with you, Mark, on that, but I kind of agree with you. He was the better character in the whole trilogy.
You don't like Finn screaming "Ray"
No.
just over and
No.
over and over, or Poe?
What happened?
Knock
I
fell
left
out of the
the room.
bed.
Oh, no. I'm getting kicked out again. I'm going to a different room.
Who's kicking you?
People want to go to bed. This bunch of mine wants to go to bed.
Just for future listeners of the show, we're recording this at 8 p.m. Mike and his family go to bed way early every night.
It is not 8 p.m. It's not.
Yeah, it's 6.
It's 11:30. People have to work. That's what I was just informed of by saying that people have to work.
I don't. I'm retired.
I still got 2 more days vacation, boys.
So you've told us, Mark. You retired. Mhm. Yeah. Ta-da! Back. Better.
Yep.
Oh. So anything else? Any
Great.
other ideas you guys got?
Is there any other rumors out there for anything? Mark,
You guys
you're
watch the
you're the interweb guy that,
oh, there is
that reads all the
rumors
spoilers.
about nothing.
Really?
Yes.
So
Did
how
you
they
watch
keeping
the
this all
video about
secret?
Catherine Kennedy I sent you today.
Yes,
start-
that was awesome. I loved it.
I started
It is.
watching it, and then I got about 5 minutes left. I got to finish it, but yeah.
You got to finish that.
It is awesome.
I had
love
no
it.
idea about any of that.
Oh, I
Had
didn't
no
either.
idea.
No, but you read that and you're like, you listen to that video and you're like, heck, every bit of this makes sense.
Yes.
You know,
What are you talking about? Did I miss something?
Yeah,
I
go to her,
sent a
go to her
YouTube
text
link.
chat. There's a YouTube video.
I sent a link earlier. Was it today that I sent that?
yeah, it was today.
Yeah.
About Catherine Kennedy from the YouTube channel called The Critical Drinker.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool channel too, by the way. I've watched a few videos on there. And he talks about Catherine. Is it Catherine or Kathleen?
Kathleen.
Kathleen Kennedy, about how she rose to power, with Lucasfilm and stuff, and it's really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Yeah. Was that Iger in the video? Is that Bob Iger?
But I don't know.
I don't know on that. I know the
Is that-
name. I don't know
I
know what he looks like.
thought Bob Iger
He
quit.
retired, didn't he?
Yeah. So I guess
Is that the guy they're talking about had political aspirations? Is that Bob Iger in that video? I think it is.
That might be. But I thought
He's the head of Disney, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Or
He
was.
He
Was.
ain't no more.
Well, he still is now. Through COVID, he decided to stay on.
Yeah, he's staying
Oh,
for
okay.
like 6 more months or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just know she's ruined Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
But she don't have nothing to do with Mandalorian or this, right?
Don't think so.
No.
That's what
No.
This is all Bob Iger's.
So
Yeah.
has she got anything on the Obi-Wan show or the
I
Cassian?
we don't
I
know
hope,
yet.
I hope not.
What about the
Yeah.
Cassian Andor show?
Don't know
that
yet.
either.
They ain't even started filming them, have they?
They have
Uh,
Obi-Wan. Haven't they?
No, they're rewriting
No.
the scripts on Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Yeah.
are they?
They was getting ready, and then all this happened, and they shut that down and started rewriting.
I think we'll get dates. I think we get specific dates. May the 4th here. I think we'll get some news next week.
Oh, really?
Or when is May the 4th? Was that next
It's Monday.
Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday. Yeah.
Is there any new big toys or anything coming out for that? Should be something, shouldn't they?
Walmart's got a couple. They had the Boba Fett helmet, and they got the child stuff, and I know they had some Empire Strikes Back stuff. But other than that, I didn't see.
Because they need like it's the 40th anniversary or something, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what it
No,
was
42.
of Empire Strikes Back.
It's 40 of Empire.
Oh, maybe of Empire. Okay.
Yes, I think it had 40th on Empire.
Yeah.
Because the box is in there, I think it says 40th on.
I know there's a new set of pops, a new series of them that's 40th anniversary. They got 40th anniversary Empire logos on them.
40 years ago. Mike, did we see that in the theater?
Which one?
Empire.
Yes.
I don't
I
remember.
didn't. You know why?
You weren't alive.
I was not born.
Yes, we see Empire at Corbin Theater, Tri-County.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember we seen Jedi in Florida.
Florida. Jedi in Florida. We seen
Star Wars at
Empire.
the drive-in.
yeah, Star Wars at the Drive-In, Empire at Tri-County. Yeah. You know, we never watched Star Wars in the theater until the re-release.
Until the special editions.
Yeah, special edition re-release.
Oh, the original one?
Yeah.
We never seen Star
seen
Wars
it at
in
a
the
drive-in.
theater. We've seen it in a drive-in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
And
was
I
you?
remember the first time it's broadcast on network television. I watched that.
So going
Oh,
into
really?
it, that when it came out the first time though, so was there comics and stuff already then, or is that something
No.
brand new?
No.
So you just seen the trailer and it's like, I gotta go see that?
Yes. No, we
never
didn't.
seen the trailer. We went to the drive-in one night. Mom and Dad took us to the drive-in one night. Me and Mark and
Our cousin Rita.
Cousin Rita. all went to the drive-in one night in Corbin, and Star Wars was playing.
So you
That's what
okay?
we
So it was
watched.
just on.
see,
y'all.
Yeah,
We
and
never-
I'm
I
not
never
sure that
heard
we
of it.
seen. I'm not sure that we seen it.
Was it
During
called
the-
Star Wars or was it
Well,
just
back
called
then
New
it
Hope?
would have been the
It was just called Star
release.
Wars. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if we seen it during its first release in 1977 or its second release in 78 when they changed it to Episode 4. When they had Episode 4 added to the top of the crawl at first of.
Right.
So I don't remember what year we seen it in, but we did see it in one of those 2 years.
Yeah, I think it was the very first year.
I think it was too because no, I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think it was in
Because-
77 when it first came out.
Yes, it was, but I don't think we seen it in 77 because it wasn't. We went and seen it, and then like the next day, didn't we go to Rose's in Corbin with Mom, and she bought me, Darth Vader, and you a Luke Skywalker action figure?
That's awesome that you two bought them too.
Didn't that happen?
Mark's
It
been
may
bad from the get go.
have.
And
Mark's been a Sith since the get-go.
and not only did Michael get Luke, he got fighter pilot Luke. It wasn't white Luke.
No, it's
And
not Luke.
you couldn't get them action figures when
They
Star
didn't
Wars
bring
first
that
come
fighter
out.
pilot Luke out until Empire Strikes Back.
No, I think he's in a Star Wars card.
No, he's not.
But well, don't whatever it was. You
Yeah.
got
Gonna
Luke
fight
and I
right
got
here,
Vader.
Sean.
But
What?
They're gonna
you
fight right
couldn't
here.
get Star Wars toys until Christmas 1977, and even then, you got the early bird certificate thing. That
Mhm.
if you bought that, you sent that in, and they mailed you the action figures.
Oh wow.
Couldn't find them in a store.
Hey, if you've never watched the Toys That Made Us on Netflix,
Yes, it's
the
awesome.
very first episode of that is a Star Wars episode.
Mhm.
If you've never watched that, you got to watch it.
Yeah, have you ever watched that, Chris?
Mm-mm.
John?
I've heard you all talk about it, but I
Hey,
ain't
I've
watched
not.
it.
I've not
Oh,
watched
you
it.
guys need to
it.
watch that. That's awesome.
I've heard
Yeah.
that one was good, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one was pretty good.
The
Ninja
G.I. Joe
Turtle
one
one's
was good. The Ninja Turtle one was good.
Transformers.
The Ninja Turtle one, yeah, Transformers. The
Did they
Ninja
ever do
Turtle one was
WWF
awesome.
action figures? Because I had
Yes.
those.
Yes, there's a
Yes,
WWF
if I ain't
episode
mistaken,
too.
this newer season's got that in it.
Got a WWF episode.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've watched them all, even the Barbie and My Little Pony ones.
Oh yeah.
It's just a good series.
You wouldn't believe how many toys that we are so crazy over here started in Japan.
Yeah.
Transformers started in Japan. Of
That's
course,
it.
Power Rangers started in Japan.
Don't be hating on the
Yeah.
Rangers.
Huh?
Hey, there's a Power Rangers episode, Sean.
Yeah, there's a Power Rangers.
And it's not just about the action figures. It's a really good documentary about the history of the show and how it got started and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready to say about the Ninja Turtle episodes. I had no clue that Eastman and Lard was like, how they created the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And here's a funny thing, Michael. You had the second printing of issue number 1.
Yeah.
You know how much that's worth now?
Oh, it's probably worth a lot of money, ain't it?
A whole lot of money.
Good job, Mike. Way to go.
You know whose care I left that in? Yours.
Oh,
You know
them got gone many
You know
many
what you've
years
done
ago.
with it?
I'm sure I sold it for
Mark
nothing.
traded it for
Sold it
Star
for
Trek
nothing.
comic or something.
So, yeah, don't blame me for that. That's you.
I'm just saying that you had it,
Mhm.
but
You
Yeah,
probably
that-
had a bunch of the action figures that are worth a lot of money now if you still had them in mint condition.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, you don't understand. When me and Mike was kids, our mama lived with us, our mother's mother, and every once a month when she got her Social Security check, she would give us $5 a piece, and that I don't know what Michael did with his.
I bought Hot Wheel cars.
I bought a Star Wars action figure and a Hot Wheel once a month with that money. It was just enough to buy one of each.
Mhm.
And I think at one point I had 100 figures. At one point I had like 100 figures from the original, but they were all opened and played with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't know such thing as, oh, leave it in the package. That's going to be worth money someday back then.
No, not to
Well, I
us,
mean,
wasn't.
if you think
It was
about
like,
many
as soon
people
as you
has
got in the
them,
car from Kmart back then, that's where we got them at. And
Yeah,
No,
it was
TGY.
opened.
be honest with you, a lot of them, be honest, probably 98% of the Star Wars figures from back then is 99% probably is out of the package.
So that's what I'd say.
I
Not
know-
many people. I mean, do
'cause I
people
know the ones
collect
my
back then
uncles-
too? Would there been adults collecting like
Like-
what collecting
Oh,
is
yeah.
now?
All it
yeah,
was my
there was.
uncle's got, and he's got
I mean-
buku of Star Wars figures, and like
You
he's
can
got a-
still, you can still find them new and, in the package and stuff.
but they're a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, they're a lot of money.
I got an uncle. He's got most of them, and most of them's graded. Like he's bought them. The ones he don't have, he buys the ones that's graded.
Mhm.
No,
And plus,
I
if
mean,
if
really,
they're
at
graded,
one
you're better
time-
off to take them out of the package anyway, because when they grade them,
at one time we have had every one of the original Star Wars action figures, every single one of them, at one time or another. And we played with all of them. We had the original ships. I had an X-wing, I had a snow speeder. Mark had a Millennium Falcon. We had
Slave One.
Luke's speeder. We had Boba Fett's Slave One. We've had every one of those. The only thing that we didn't get back in the day was an AT-AT.
And it was only because it was like $80 or something like that,
Yeah.
$80 or $90.
I know
And you
somebody's
couldn't
got
find
two
it.
of them.
You couldn't find them anywhere. Yeah.
And then I had tons of GI Joe. I mean,
Yeah.
tons.
Hmm. That's another good episode. The G.I. Joe one.
Yeah.
On the Toys That Made Us is a good one. Yeah. Mhm.
All right then, are we good to go on this episode?
We good?
Everything's good with me. We will.
All right. Well, this was fun. We'll do it again next week for episode 3 of this final arc.
All right.
Team folk.
All righty, guys. Gentlemen, may the force be with you.
All right. Signing off. Thank